Morning, daughter.
Welcome to Shamanic Sundays, everyone. Good to be here with you. Thank you for showing up.
Oh,
We started Shamanic Sundays. My sister and I had the idea, Nicole and I had the idea, and it was kind of all three of us brainstorming. And this was birthed. And so we decided to bring it forward as a way to share your wisdom and your pioneering work in the space of being a bridge builder between indigenous wisdom that we need so badly on this planet that we all share, that we are not taking such great care of. And so thank you for all the work you've done throughout your journey here on this earth. And thank you for being here this morning to share with our community. In the spirit of sacred reciprocity, would you like to start us off with a prayer before we get to our question of the day?
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
gratitude, thanksgiving. Every day, a day that we're alive is an opportunity to give thanks for what we're thankful for, to bring the power of our focused awareness inside and listen and feel and sense what's the truth of what I have to be thankful for on this day of being alive. And from that awareness, connecting with what you do have to be thankful for, we have to be thankful for, our lives, our creation, our ancestor spirits, and prayers for the ancestor spirits of the land we live on. And gratitude to our ancestors and to the great wisdom power, creating, activating wisdom power of the universe that comes to us from above and below and around and always in the center of all things. Whatever you want to call it, great spirit, great mystery, Holy Spirit, Wakantanka, sacred mystery. List goes on and on. God, Goddess, Creator, source of all. Thank you for the gifts of our lives. Thank you for Kimberly and Nicole's vision, bringing us together in this way to open up our awareness to what you might bring through in response to the questions that are being asked, so we can activate our ability to wake up, to wise up. And on this day, we're given to live love now and be channels for healing light and love out into the larger field for healing of the sacred hoop. May it be so. Hope.
Oh, thank you. May it be so. Thank you. It's interesting being down here in this community. I'm Santa Barbara area. There's so many fruit trees and beautiful flowers, and it's just I always feel like I'm aware of the trees and the plants and the insects and all the animals and just all the parts, all beings that are part of our ecosystem. But they sure have been on magnificent display lately, and like just so keenly aware of the pollinators and the fruit, and yeah, it's just really sweet. So
It is sweet.
With what you were asking, what you were saying, and then it also actually ties in with the question of the day that came to us from Brian N. Thank you, Brian. The question is, you talk a lot about us mattering. You say you matter and that we're here for a purpose. Can you speak on that some more, please?
Sure, great.
So I love that because it's totally tied in with systems thinking and how we all serve a purpose. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Krishna Das. Your middle name, Kimberly Krishna. Omprios, which is sweet short for thank you. So, well, the first thing that comes is how the fact that the creating wisdom, activating wisdom power of the universe created us. And it certainly has the power to take us out anytime it wants. So the very fact that we're here means that once it's here and it's breathing life into us with every breath that we take to keep our life going. So what might the universe have in mind for us in giving us this life and what I call the angels of protection that have brought us this far? And so always good, I think, to give thanks to the angels of protection for our lives, our families, our loved ones, and to grow stronger in the world by empowering us to show up and help create a safer and a just world. So What's our purpose here? Well, I think you can't go wrong learning from nature because nature bats last. Nature knows what's best. Nature's a manifestation of that wisdom, creative power, energy of the universe. So,
and Dad, I want to make sure that, I mean, they're certainly tied together, but the question was about the word matter, that you matter. Like,
yeah.
Why do I matter?
Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me because you thought I was spinning out there somewhere.
I mean, they're absolutely integrally connected. And probably
I was definitely spinning. I appreciate your reminder, but I am in tune with that and setting a context for it. So, as creations of the universe, we're not here by accident. And so it helps to if one's interested in learning our purpose, to pay attention to how the universe works as expressed through nature, because we get to see it and hear it and taste it and feel it. And it's a manifestation of that wisdom power. So there's a combination of two things happening with 95% of what our scientists tell us is going on in the universe. We only know 5% of it, but the other 95% is dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter, which we're a part of and is in us, all material manifestation, pulls things together like the invisible force of gravity, joining, bringing things together to join, and healing comes through joining with the truth of what is. So that's one thing the universe is doing. It's bringing all these atoms and molecules together to make our bodies, to make our planet, to make Mother Earth, to make anything we look at. It's all, so there's that way the universe is working. And another way the universe is working is through dark energy, is expanding at an accelerating rate. So what is it we need to expand? What does the universe want to use us to bring together, to join together? What does the universe want to use us as part of the evolutionary process of the great mystery of creation, to expand, to grow bigger into? So I think for me, purpose and how we matter is how we choose, if we do, to work harmoniously with those powers of both bringing together as well as expanding, how to make a sacred marriage between those two. And it's the work that sacred marriage produces through our intention. What qualities of consciousness and being do we want to live our life behind and for? Do I want to do it to feed my ego identity, or do I want to open my awareness, expand my awareness, my sense of identity of who and what I am to? I'm a creation of the universe. I'm at one. The deepest level of my being is an energy being, is embedded in a field of infinite energy, and there's no separation. And so, because there's sacred unity of all things, and no such thing as a separate thing, everything I think and say and do is like a pebble dropped in a pond, and the energy vibrates out into the field, into the larger field, and vibrates that web in which everything is connected. So everything we say and do and feel is it's all energy, and it's not separate from the larger field. It merges into it, flows into, joins into the larger field and vibrates the web. And it's on each of us to make a choice about what kind of difference we make. It's impossible not to make a difference. We're constantly making a difference because of that interconnectedness, that sacred unity. The only question is in this life is, what kind of a difference am I making? What kind of difference are you making? What kind of difference are we making? And we're given, one of the gifts of life is we're given the possibility of making conscious choice about how we respond to that question. Oh, okay. You still there? I can't see you. Can't see anybody.
I'm here, just checking your trust and faith muscle.
Yeah.
There was a weird noise outside the window, so I was going to check on it.
Okay, and there was a coyote, huh?
Didn't see anything. Yeah, it was a coyote.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, like, I think on one hand, we, as the apex species here on Earth, meaning we're the top of the food chain, we were unique in our capacity to impact other species and the global environment, right? So we have this like tremendous power that we sit on, but at the same time, I would venture, I don't know if there's been research on this, but we're probably the only species that considers whether we matter. Like I'm guessing other species are more like, here I am, like living my life, right?
Can I
Yeah.
interrupt for a sec? Just a thought about that.
Yeah.
I was just reading a couple of days ago in one of the Science Digests or whatever I get, about this whale researcher who was commenting on it. And for 20 years, he's been sailing around, hanging out with, I don't know whether it was sperm whales or blue whales. But he was remarking, these guys have, as he's listening to the sounds, recording them and recognizing different pods of whales have different. They all have their own distinct language, the different pods, and there's communication between them that's amazing. And they're trying to, through the recording and AI, try to figure out what they're saying, what they're talking about. And they're slowly making progress with that. Or shamans have been working with that interspecies communication for a long time. But the whales have been around for tens of millions of years, communicating. So he was saying, might it be that we open up our minds to that these older people, these elders of the planet that have survived for millions of years, maybe billion, I don't know. And we know some degree of the sophistication of their brains and the communication, the sensitivity of their communications that they can send through tens of thousands of miles in the ocean and communicate with each other. They've got some mojo going. I would just suggest, in response to your question or the idea that we're the only ones that think about the future, I think those whales are not only thinking about the future, they're trying to communicate with us people to help us wake up and wise up and live now in harmony and balance.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I said that we are the only ones who think about the future, but we're the only ones that question if we matter.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think that goes to some of human beings like suffering, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Why do I matter? But I absolutely think that that the communication power of other animals is certainly something that we should be opening our minds to learn from, because they have been doing it a lot longer. There was a great book, I'm trying to remember the author, when I was doing EcoMom, the author sent me a copy, and he was based out of Santa Cruz, I think, and it was about a whale. He kind of took the idea, remember that whale that got stuck up in the Delta, the Sacramento River Delta. So he took that concept and he turned it into that the whale had come there on purpose. Or maybe he was a channel for it, but he wrote a fictional book about the whale being there on purpose, trying to get our human attention, saying you're, polluting our ocean, which is basically you're polluting yourself too. It was a great book. I'll try to remember that and put it in the notes.
Yeah, good.
When I do, but getting back to the question of us mattering, I had just a thought when I was doing some of my own work the other day around ecosystems and regenerative work, and thinking of, like, if you remember that we are part of nature, right? Like we tend to think like, oh, I'm over here and nature's over there. But if we remember that we're part of nature, and then we think of the way that ecosystems work, we're just part of the system, right? So, predators help control prey, herbivores help shape plant communities. We've got a huge tomato plant growing over there that we never planted it. We've never had that species of plant growing in this yard. So we're thinking some bird made a little offering of the seed, and it's like growing beautifully. Yeah, but anyways, that the pollinators I was talking to earlier, the nutrient cycling, pest control, like every piece plays a part, right? So if you just look at us being part of nature, then of course we matter. And so we just need to get out of our own heads and stop questioning if we matter and just keep showing up.
Exactly. Yeah. It's only the thoughts in our heads that produce an experience of feeling disconnected from nature, which is an illusion, a pathological illusion, because it leads us to treat nature in hurtful ways, which, like you say, is actually hurting ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and all life on the planet.
Right, right. So is there, I know we've talked before about like language and how the English language doesn't always capture the essence of some of indigenous language, and shamanic cultures, like some of those concepts about our interconnectedness, like our words just don't always suffice. I wonder if you could speak to that for a minute.
Well, the first thing that comes up is a word I've mentioned a number of times is from the ancient Aramaic, which goes back to the Middle East, which is the language spoken when Jesus was alive. And that Alaha is the word. Alaha means sacred unity. Sacred unity. And so in the prayers of the time, people would use that word, Alaha, gratitude to Allah, be aware of sacred unity, how everything's connected. And the word aloha, which is Hawaiian, and is about love. It's about cosmic love. And it's the energy there that comes so strongly out of and through the spirits of the Aina, the land there, and the Mother Ocean in Hawaii. And when I first went to Hawaii, when you guys were little, you and Nicole when we first went to Hawaii, I stepped off the plane, I was just immediately blown away by the energy field. Just walking off the plane into the energy field there, and I felt that aloha energy. Pardon?
The warm air and the amazing smells.
That's exactly, which are all vibrations. They're all part of a vibrating field that's coming in through our senses, that's bringing information about what kind of energy it is and how to be with it. And so you want to open to that energy. And so there's two words from two different languages, two different indigenous languages that go back thousands and thousands of years that are in relationship and expressions of our interconnectedness with nature and with the invisible creative powers underneath nature, and how we're all interwoven in this web of relationship. And part of the shamanic medicine work is in wisdom traditions of indigenous science around the world, and the spiritual traditions is wake up to you. You're more than who you think you are, and wise up. Let go of false identity that who you are, the extent of who you are, is your physical body and your ego identity and all of its stories. In wising up, remember the truth of your interconnectedness with that larger power of the universe, the great spirit, the great mystery. And when you connect with that power, you polish up your stardust. We polish up our stardust. We charge our batteries. We strengthen ourselves, our immune system, our health, and high level wellness. And there's vibratory power of who we are and what we are, and waking up the memory of all of who we are. We are love, and our love is forgiving. And the more we come from that place in and through all our relations, the difference we're making is helping to heal the sacred hoop. And that's what we're here to do, to wake up, wise up, show up, do our part to heal the sacred hoop. Fullest blossoming, greatest good.
May it be so. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So jumping back to the us getting into our minds and forgetting that we matter. Could you lead us in our visualization to help us get ready for the week ahead, using shamanic principles to get out of our heads and into our hearts, and have a good week ahead of remembering that we matter?
Okay, may it be so. Well, to get into our hearts, our heads, you might say, are up here, and we usually think about it, but our hearts are not up there. Our hearts are a little further down. So we want to connect with our hearts. We got to go inside. So I close my eyes so I can see better inside, and focusing my awareness, pulling my awareness inside, and you might say dropping down the energy elevator to my heart, to where my heart's literally located in my chest, and it's beating, the life force, pumping the life force out through me, promoting my health and wellness, sustaining my life. and noticing with our awareness of catching the breath as it flows into us from the creative power of the universe, we can bring that breath right down into our hearts. We can bring our breath, our awareness, right down into our hearts and strengthen our awareness of connection and attunement and communion with the wisdom power of our beating hearts, the wisdom power of the life force flowing through us. And we can open our awareness to the importance. We can remember that grace grows where gratitude flows. And so as we listen in our heart to what we're grateful for in our lives, the opportunities we're given in being alive, breathing into that gratitude, letting it expand and grow brighter, and letting that gratitude flow through time and space to the creative power of the universe, from which whatever it is you're thankful for comes from, ultimately, is the ultimate source. And so the more we can connect, the more I connect. I don't think I'm unique. I'm a human being just like you, a two-legged, with a spirit living in a human body, an animal body, trying to do the work of bringing spiritual awareness and teachings through that monkey mind. It's a formidable challenge. So important to have compassion and be gentle and tender with ourselves. But the more I can bring my awareness down into my beating heart, gratitude for being alive, the gifts of creation, and sending that gratitude to the source, the creative wisdom power source of the gifts. In that instant, in that moment, from open heart, sending out that beam or energy, however you experience it, a wave of appreciation flowing through and where it needs to go, bringing that appreciation, that polishes up our stardust. It strengthens our ability through attunement with the wisdom power of the universe to be open for its guidance about how to create responses to the challenges, which are really opportunities to wake up, wise up, and live love now, that are already on its way in this week coming. So may it be so. Fullest blossom, greatest good.
Oh, thank you so much. That felt beautiful, and you are beautiful. And to each of our community members out there, you are beautiful. That just made me think of, I just reminded myself of that show I used to watch when I was a little kid. Oh gosh, what was it called? Romper Room?
Yeah,
Was that where she would look through the looking glass or the glass, the magnifying thing, and she would say like, this is TV, right? So there's no interactive at this stage, years ago of being on a screen and sharing it together. But she would be like, I see Roger, I see Tom, I see Elizabeth, I see Karen, like, right? And I'd be like, why doesn't she see me? Why doesn't she see me? So, but I know that each of you are beautiful. So each of you listening, thank you for your beauty and the gifts that you bring to this world and for showing up this morning. For Shamanic Sundays, please share this with your friends, family, colleagues who you think may benefit from it. And we'll see you next week. Have a great week ahead. Mwah, mwah. Thank you. Bye.